As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
Well, I thought about going with Coach Stoops. XFL announced where their teams are going to be. He's staying in Arlington. So they didn't ship Coach Stoops off to some hellhole like Orlando, Florida, or something crazy. He's staying in Arlington, Texas, close to home. But they did add 3 new venues: Vegas, Orlando, and San Antonio. So it's out. They've got their coaches matched up. We're going to see XFL back. It's going to be cool. I can't wait for that. It's going to be awesome. But I end up settling on Pete Rose. He's going to be back on the field there in Philly for the first time in over 30 years. They're going to be celebrating the 1981 World Series, and he had the lifetime ban in 1989. He's 81 years old. Did I say 81? 1980 World Series. He's 81, and he's going to be able to get back out on the field there. That should be really interesting, and I wonder if it does anything for his Hall of Fame stuff.
Is it time? Right? And I know there are some baseball purists out there, and I get it. Bet on baseball, whatever. But the Baseball Hall of Fame doesn't have arguably the best hitter of all time, and then arguably the best. I don't think it's much of an argument. Barry Bonds is the best baseball player ever, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why they just don't put him in there. And everyone knows the story,
right?
It's dumb to me.
And if they don't know the story, guess where they can learn about it? In the Hall of Fame. You've got to expose everyone to the best, and sometimes some bad stories as well. It's a part of the game. You can't hide it. The dude was unbelievable. I say put him in. I know there's people that say no, but I think it's dumb, personally. Yeah, the Barry Bonds one, like, for me, is just like totally crazy.
I think this was the correct stat. It was that if you turned every one of Barry Bonds' home runs into an out, he would still have a better OPS than David Ortiz. Or like wow. Something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't think David Ortiz needed the ricochet shot there, but I think it was just trying to illuminate the fact that Barry Bonds was incredible.
Here's the other thing with Bonds, and there's people that know a lot more about it than I do, but he never tested positive for steroids because they didn't test for steroids in Major League Baseball. So it's like, I don't know. It's so weird to me. And I know, like, there was a lot that went into the steroid stuff that he was taking. I'm not sitting here trying to say that he didn't. I'm just saying that they didn't test for it during that time. It wasn't technically against the rules. So I think it's ridiculous.
I think the number one reason he's not in the Hall of Fame is because he was an asshole to a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I don't think he made very many friends with how he treated, especially, remember, baseball writers are the ones that are voting.
Yeah. Well, that's probably very true. And it's, you can say, well, that's what you get for being a jerk all those years, but you still got to have that story in the Hall of Fame, in this guy's opinion.
I agree. All right, who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
I had to go with Davante Adams, because as soon as you make a comparison between Derek Carr and I don't know, I can't think of his name. He plays for the Green Bay Packers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Jeez. As soon as you make that comparison, it never is going to end well. And he even said that as soon as he saw the comment written out, he was like, oh my God, this is going to be terrible. But he did clarify, because he said what he said was like when you go from one Hall of Famer to another Hall of Famer, even then there's going to be an adjustment period. And everyone was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Are you saying Derek Carr's a Hall of Famer? Now, he's not backing off of that statement, but in no way was he trying to make a comparison between Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr. But it's still funny to light that fuse and watch the whole world go crazy.
Yeah. Anytime it reminds me, and it's different, right? But when Tyreek Hill was like, yeah, Tua's more accurate than Mahomes. You're like, wait, hold on. What?
Yeah, I get you're trying to pump up your guy, like he's your new guy. You got to develop that chemistry, but you can't go overboard with it.
That's fair, but I think it's important to remember that Davante Adams and Derek Carr were college teammates.
Yep.
And boys.
Which is crazy to think about those two at Fresno, man.
Yeah. So clearly that relationship's been there for a long, long time. And yeah, he's fired up to play with his guy. He's probably fully aware that Aaron Rodgers is a little more accomplished, has a few more bullet points on the old resume, but there's nothing wrong with hyping up your guy.
Hype him up and take the brunt of the criticism. No big deal. Who cares?
Yeah. No, you got to do it. You got to do it. Watch Derek Carr come out and just slinging it this year.
Yeah, he's a good court. He's done some really good things. He's not always had the best team around him, but like that's one of the differences though, is Aaron Rodgers, like whenever you get to guys of that caliber, like there's a bunch, like if you're a starting NFL quarterback, you're at a different level. But whenever you're a guy like Aaron Rodgers, like you instantly make everyone else on the field better, like without a doubt. Like that's some of the best qualities of those really top tier guys is they make everyone around them better. And Davante Adams is going to see some of that. Like some of those throws that Aaron Rodgers makes whenever things have broken down or he's kind of just backpedaling and just whips it. Like that's a little bit different, but I still can't fault him for doing what he did.
Yeah. Just hyping up his guy. It's fine. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs. Checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all, whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone. Everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. First Fidelity Bank provides free ATMs worldwide, making banking convenient wherever you are. They also give back to the community. FFB donates a total of more than $500,000 to local charities and educational foundations. Make your life easier and go bank with First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information.
And if you're a whiskey or bourbon drinker, stop what you are doing. Head to your favorite liquor store and buy some Balcones products. You got to grab some of Balcones Lineage Single Malt Whiskey. It was just voted one of the top 20 whiskeys in the world by Whiskey Advocate, and you'll be shocked by how affordable it is. Also, you got to snag some of Balcones Baby Blue Corn Whiskey.
It's made from blue corn. That's the fancy corn.
And that is why it has won more than 25 awards. Last but certainly not least, you got to buy some of Balcones Pot Still Bourbon. Its big flavors make it the perfect bourbon to drink year-round. Remember in 2012, Balcones Single Malt won the Best in Glass competition, beating brands like Johnnie Walker and Macallan, and became the first American distillery to win that competition. This stuff is the real deal, people. If you love great whiskey and bourbon at a great price, then Balcones products are the only way to go. The whiskey may be made in Texas, but the owners are from Oklahoma. To find a liquor store that has it, visit balconesdistilling.com. All right, for my winner of the weekend, I thought about going with Patrick Mahomes. We talked about the Kyler Murray contract. He was asked about it, and he was asked about other quarterbacks making more money than him. And I just loved how he handled that question. Basically, he said, when I signed my deal, I knew I was going to be set for life, regardless. And basically said, I'm going to have made enough money. Like I'm really not worried about that. I'm trying to win Super Bowls. That's what I'm going to remember. And I just love that response. He was like, I'm good. I'm good with the amount of money I'm making on and off the field. Now it's all about winning for me. I thought it was a really cool way to look at it.
It is, but it's such a weird thing that, can you imagine as soon as someone signs a contract, like the first thing is, hey, what do you think that he makes more money than you? What do you think about that? It's such a weird thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, especially Mahomes. It's like Mahomes, I'm sure he's getting paid a fortune by Adidas, Bose, like all these endorsements he's got. And he's probably like, man, it's, and that's basically what he said. He's like, I'm good.
I'm glad I set the market for him. How about that? I'm glad they put a number out there for everyone to beat.
And next time,
weird dynamic.
He's going to continue to build on that answer, because next time he's like, and I'm taking a little less so that I can have better guys around me. He's going to start adding that to it. I'm taking a little less moving forward so that they can take care of my guys. That'll play well in the locker room.
He's either going to do that or he's going to delete his social media.
Yeah, or he's going to scrub it, and a renegotiation is going to happen.
Patrick Mahomes has scrubbed his Twitter account.
Yeah. All right, but my winner of the weekend, the Cincinnati Bengals, man. Did you see those alternate helmets?
It's pretty sweet, man.
Oh, if you haven't seen them, go check them out. But so this year, the NFL is allowing teams to have an alternate helmet, so you can wear it for a couple games, but the Bengals are going with white helmets with the black tiger stripes, and they are so sick. And it really eliminates the number one reason I don't enjoy watching the Bengals play. The helmet's awesome. There's too much orange, man. There's just too much orange. And now I'm going to be able to stare at that beautiful white helmet. Oh, that thing is nasty. And speaking of nasty, whoever decided that the Bears alternate helmet should be orange needs to be fired immediately, because that thing's disgusting.
Why do you think they did that?
I have no idea. No one likes their orange jerseys to begin, and no one says, "Oh, Chicago Bears, yeah, let's incorporate more orange." No, the Bears, it's blue. The blue is the Bears.
They kind of have, in their defense, a little bit
orange accents.
They don't have a good color. Like, you can't really build off of that really dark navy. There's not a whole lot you can do to change it up. And the only other thing that you have is that orange line in there, and it's way overboard, but I don't know what else you're going to do. But I'm definitely with you. I am not a fan of that helmet. It's terrible.
Those orange Chicago Bears helmets are gross.
It's so bad that they may not ever wear them.
They said they're going to wear them on Thursday Night Football, and I still don't think it should be allowed. And I love the color rush games, right? I loved it.
I do too.
I think they're great. I was part of the Buffalo Bills, New York Jets colorblind game, where people couldn't, the jerseys, we were wearing all red and the Jets were wearing all green, and people that were red, green colorblind just saw all gray and they were pissed.
Yeah, that's tough I would never have thought about that either, but I love the color rush uniforms. I love the solid socks. There's nothing I hate more than wearing the half blue and half white, or half red, half white. The socks in the NFL, they're disgraceful. The solid colored socks make the whole uniform look 1,000 times better. So most of them, though, like, just scrolling through and looking at all of them, like the Eagles black helmet looks awesome.
Well, you got the Panthers, the Saints, and the Eagles. They're all doing black helmets as their alternate, and they're all sick. Mm-hmm. They're going to look awesome. Hell, even the Texans red one, they're calling it like battle red or something like that. It pops pretty good, but the Bears orange, man, just a big miss. Big miss.
Yeah, I love the Giants throwback uniforms too. I think they're so awesome. And Patriots are doing their throwback uniform with the colonial guy playing center. Pretty cool, but all in all, pretty good. the Bears missed massively of all the teams.
I mean, all the other ones are really cool. Like you mentioned, because there's kind of like two categories. There's alternates and then kind of the throwbacks. And the Cowboys are doing that white helmet throwback, which is always pretty cool. The Patriots, you mentioned that one. The Giants, the Falcons are bringing the red helmet back, which is so sick. Like and a lot of these are like elite looks. And then you've got Chicago where you just see it and you're like, oh, gross. It's awful. It's terrible. Maybe it's because I was raised to despise the color orange, but I like to think I'm being reasonable about this. It looks terrible.
It looks terrible, and it doesn't look anything like everyone else is like, you can see that it's a spin on what they do. It just looks nothing like the Bears. Just flat out doesn't look like the Chicago Bears.
Yeah. Someone's losing their job over that.
It was a swing and a miss. Sorry, Bears. Sorry, Bears fans, which I don't have to say sorry to Bears fans. If there's no one that's going to be more brutal about it than they are.
That's a good point. Yeah. Maybe it will be self-corrected.
Right.
All right. For my loser of the weekend, man, I hate to do this, but I thought about going with John Metchie. I mean, guys just had a rough go of it, right? Was one of the best receivers in all of college football. Tears his ACL last year in the SEC championship game. So you got the torn ACL, not that big of a deal anymore, right? Still goes in the second round of the draft, goes to the Texans, but just announced he'll likely miss his entire rookie year because he'll be going through treatment for leukemia. And that just, I mean, all the best to him, man, praying for that guy, but that's a rough go. The ACL, then leukemia combo, man, that's brutal.
Brutal. Hopefully they got to it in time, got early detection, and he's okay. Treatment goes well, but I'm with you.
Yeah. So I also thought about going with the Boston Red Sox. They did not have a good weekend. And the reason I bring it up is because I watched a little bit of their game on Friday, but so Sunday they lost to the Toronto Blue Jays 8-4. So they lost all three games in the series. They lost Sunday 8-4. They lost Saturday 4-1. But Friday was the game I caught a glimpse of where they lost 28-5. They gave up 28 runs to the Blue Jays. Franchise record for the Blue Jays.
Wow. What's that? That's 40-10 in the three games outscored. Not favorable. 28-5. What a brutal night.
And I'm pretty sure the Blue Jays, they fired their manager not too long ago, like a couple of weeks ago. So it's not, I don't know, but it was 28-5. That had to, and I don't care about Boston Red Sox fans at all, but that's brutal.
I'm guessing they were probably in the seventh inning throwing like backup outfielders as pitchers, like teams do these days.
Yeah. But my loser of the weekend, Charles Leclerc. Ted, did you watch?
I did not, unfortunately. I had my own F1 race from Fort Gibson back to Goldsby, Oklahoma this morning.
Nice.
And I won it. Won the race.
And you won it. Were you the only participant in the race?
I was the only participant, and somehow my power unit made it all the way from Fort Gibson to Goldsby, Oklahoma. No problems with the power unit.
Well, Charles Leclerc, it actually wasn't the power unit this time. This was actually user error. And he was super frustrated because it certainly looked like he had the best car there at the French Grand Prix. Started on pole, looked like he was cruising. But Ted, lap 18, just made a mistake, lost the rear, spun himself out into the tires, and his day was over. And I think, and I'm still back and forth on whether Leclerc's my guy or not. I think the fact that it's taking me this long is probably an indicator that he's not my guy. But I think my favorite thing in Formula One right now is Charles Leclerc yelling into his radio. I think that's my favorite thing. And this was definitely the loudest and angriest no that we've gotten from him. And it made it even better. And it was so, I think it was so passionate because he knew it was his fault and the car was performing well. That's where all the frustration was coming from. And he even said it in his post-race interview, said it was his fault. And that if he keeps making mistakes like this, he doesn't deserve to win the championship. Ted, Charles Leclerc not in a good place after this one.
Yeah, if he keeps making mistakes like that, he'll be driving World of Outlaw here in the Southeast United States before long.
Oh boy. It was an easy win for Max Verstappen. You'd be shocked to know that he won.
Oh yeah. How about that?
And
it's like it's a 3-man race out there.
And I will say, your boy Lewis Hamilton, P2, Ted, best finish of the season for Mercedes, best finish of the season for Hamilton. He overcame some adversity, and I learned something. I don't know why. I didn't really ever think about whether the guys are drinking water in the car or not while they're racing. I know that I understand that it's really tough on your body and like your heart rate is way up and it's really challenging physically and mentally and all that. I always understood. I never really thought about them drinking water, but I read that he had a water bottle, or they called like a drinking bottle malfunction. And I was like, what, you mean like the straw didn't work? What do you mean a drinking bottle malfunction?
Leave it
like,
up
what?
to Formula One. Oh no, Lewis Hamilton's had a malfunction in his water dispensing unit.
Yeah, that's exactly how they should put it. But I honestly, I didn't know that was a thing. And I guess he doesn't normally drink water during races, but he tried during this one and nothing was coming out and it was malfunction. I was like, wait, you mean like the straw didn't work, or how can a water bottle malfunction? What happened?
Yeah. See, that's one of the good things about Formula One is the races are pretty quick, unlike NASCAR. So you can afford to go ahead and push the fluids out there. When you're stuck in that car for like what seems like 4 hours, you don't want to drink too much. I mean, you want to stay hydrated, but there's a fine line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you just pee in the suit? You just pee in the suit, right?
You pee into the urine absorbing unit.
Now I'm just imagining like catheters and stuff. All right, we're done. This episode's over.